is not so clear, I fear, but we see here pregnancy. This is a patient from this year. This is a mass which is close to the uterus, and you can see the red is the blood flow, that there is a lot of blood flow, so it's probably a malignant tumor. This is an MRI where you here see the fetus. This is the bladder, and you see a lobulated mass along to the pregnant uterus. This is pictures from the surgery. This is a pregnant womb, and this is a mass that appears to be a stage 1, grade 1 dyskerminoma. In non-pregnant women, we should not give this tumor chemotherapy, so this patient was treated only with surgery during pregnancy. She's still pregnant at this stage. About radiotherapy, because it is also an important modality of cancer treatment, we know that from this publication that during the first and second trimester of pregnancy, the amount of radiation to the fetus, especially if you protect the fetus, which is here, with a lead coverage, then actually the dosage to the fetus is very low. When pregnancy is advanced and there is during third trimester, actually the fetus is actually coming too close to the radiation field, and then it's not so safe anymore to irradiate. But tumors from the brain, thyroid gland, the breast, Hodgkin disease, it's possible to irradiate during, especially during the second trimester of pregnancy. This is a case of last year. It's a 28-year-old woman. She's a non-smoker, she's a non-drinker, and nevertheless, but you can see here, this is MRI of the skull, and this is a tongue tumor, stage T4 and 2. She received surgery during 8 hours during pregnancy. Subsequently, she was irradiated. You see here that our new radiation biologists, they use a phantom, which this is actually the head of the patient, this is the upper body, this is the lead coverage, and there they try to calculate how much radiation is actually, to what radiation the fetus is exposed. And this is then the patient where the fetus is protected from the radiation that needed to be given after the surgery. From this patient is her whole medical treatment. So she was operated during 8 hours in the first trimester. She received radio chemo in the second trimester, and then we decided to, and then she delivered actually a mature child. And 1.5 years after this, mother and child are in a good medical condition. So these were the clinical aspects. If you decide to support us, I need to say that you support a team. Our group was how shall I say, nominated in media to be the team of the year. It's very hard sometimes to convince patients to start treatment, to accept that chemotherapy is not so easy. These are long discussions together with the patients, but at the end of the row, if you see these pictures, it's really worthwhile to keep investing on it and to keep doing this research. We also support a growing group. This is our first newsletter in 2005. We only had 2 children, so this was really the early beginning. At this stage, we have 414 cases, so there is a steep increase of patients that are in our registration study since 2004. And also with respect to the children, we are now following 119 children who were exposed to chemo, radio, or a combination of these. So these we are prospectively following in order to provide more data in the larger group with a longer follow-up on the health of the children. Belgium is probably not large enough to conduct research on a quite uncommon disease, so we decided to start collaboration with ESGO, and we made a website where we can or international collaborators can participate by an online patient registry, but also patients can communicate between each other in a forum. So we have created a forum for patients where they quite anonymously can communicate with each other if they want. So we also think that this is an important structure and message for patients. So I'm the chair of the task force on cancer in pregnancy within the European Society of Gynecological Oncology in order to expand the ongoing research. At this stage, we are focusing on registration. We collect biopsies from these patients. At this stage, we only collect, and we will continue on to invest on that. We have a separate project on emotional needs of these patients, because there is no data on what is most important for these women in order to provide best supportive treatment apart from cancer treatment. We will continue the pharmacokinetic part, and as said, we will follow up the children after the in vitro exposure. People are really working hard. Unfortunately, some people could not be here, but this is actually people who are doing the work in the field. You can identify Christel van Kalster, who made her PhD. Lisbeth is a scientist who does the pharmacokinetic studies. And I have to emphasize that this is Mina, who has an UCL origin, so she's from the French-speaking university. But so she's also covering the south of Belgium, Luxembourg, and the north of France. So we really feel that this is also an important part. Griet is doing follow-up of the children. Marike is the secretary, and Sleni focuses on breast cancer, maternal prognosis, emotional needs. And this is the last slide. Thank you for your attention.
Are there any questions?